Jamar.
What's going on YouTube?
Washington.
This is boy Jamar here once again. Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Jamar here once again, and here we are to recap this week's American Horror Story, Chapter 9, Episode 9. You know, the chapter's the episode. It is what it is. Okay, I've said it before, I'm sure, and I'm going to say it again. The running theme this season for me has been, since Episode 1, wouldn't have been me. Okay, there are so many instances within this season that I'm just like, why are you doing this? This is stupid. So we get to see a familiar face this episode. I forgot her name in the season 3 of The Coven. I do not remember her name. All I know her is the girl with the killer cooch. Like the girl who, you know, when she would have sex with men, they would die. What was her name? I want to say it started with, oh, God. And she was the daughter for season 1 of the murder house. I cannot remember her name. Zoe. Was that her name? I think that was her name, was Zoe in The Coven. I'm pretty sure that was her name. So we get to see her. She has these 2 friends that she's out with, and they're trying to get pictures and video of the House of Roanoke for the sake of Twitter and Instagram likes and followers and trending on social media. I'm like, what? Okay, if they're fans of this show, they're really big fans of the show, and they watched season 1 and they, became crazed and obsessed with it. If you watch the show about how it was a reenactment of how all this crazy stuff happened, all these killings, all the murders, all the hallucinations and the ghosts and ghouls and goblins, if you saw reenactments and people who were there in it talk about all this stuff that happens at this time during these days, and you want to go and take yourself to that location at that time, you're stupid. You are stupid. What? You can't be surprised by anything that happens to you. Okay? You're asking. Moving on, the children wanted to come and film and take pictures for the sake of their Instagram and Twitter accounts. And as they're, walking by, they see a girl who looks injured. And so they're like, oh my God, are you okay? And the girl just is, running, look almost like she doesn't even see them. And she keeps talking about, oh, something about my cars and blah, blah, blah. So they're running and chasing after the girl. And I'm like, okay, I knew instantly that this had to be like a ghost or something, because there's no way that these kids are running at full speed after a girl who's limping, and yet they keep losing her. There's a person that's limping can't move that fast. So when they finally, chase her down, they come across this car, and they look underneath the car, and the girl, her name is Sophie, who used to be Zoe. I believe that's her name. I hope it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. But she, looks in and she jumps back and she sees that the girl that they were chasing is underneath this car already dead. So now they would just realize that they were chasing a damn spirit. And so the detective is asking them questions like, are you sure you saw what you saw? And, blah, blah, blah. And even one of the kids was like, we already know that the Roanoke Police Department is not the most dependable, and how y'all probably covering all this stuff up anyway. So, But, they're trying to tell the truth. They're trying to, get the police to believe them. And the police is kind of just like, we don't believe anything that you're saying. And if you come anywhere else close to this house, we're going to have you, arrested for trespassing. So I'm just like, oh, okay. Y'all know they're going to come back, but y'all, because y'all know they're hard-headed. But at the same time, apparently when the police went there and they saw the car and whatnot that they said they found, they didn't find anybody. And they're saying, well, you know, we're getting a lot of calls from people like you trying to pull pranks because of the stories of the blood moon and all this other stuff. And so it kind of didn't help their argument. But at the same time, y'all know that y'all know there has to be some validity to this. Anybody that's been a part of this department long enough should know that the stuff that they're talking about actually happened. But, you know, they'll see later on in the episode. So, meanwhile, at the Batcave, the son, Gideon, who played the role of the butcher's son, says that apparently Sydney called him to come to the set on this particular day with the pig hat because he figured that by now the show probably would have gotten dull and they needed something to kind of spruce it back up. And so that's why he's there. And they're looking at him like, this is not a joke. Everybody else is dead. You know, we're not playing pretend anymore. And so, like, he goes and sees all the dead bodies in the house. And so they're like, well, our goal is that we want to go back to the Polk house because I had her name in my head and I just lost it. I've been calling her the fake Lee this whole time, but what is her real name? I know the fake Shelby's name is Audrey, and her name starts with an M. It might come to me later. Y'all put it down in the comments. It might come to me in the middle of it, but for right now, I have to call her the fake Lee because so the Polks have had fake Lee, and so they want to go and save her. So I'm like, oh, okay. So the plan is they get to the Polk house, and the plan is apparently they're going to go in and try to find Lee, the fake Lee, and find the tapes. But and at the same time, Gideon is going to be over here trying to, you know, jumpstart this car. And the plan is as soon as y'all hear that this car gets jump-started, it's time to boogie, okay? It's time to jump the boogie and let's go, all right? And I was feeling Audrey when she said, look, Lee, I'm letting you know now, when that truck starts, and if you're not on it, by the time I get on it, we're leaving you. So like, do you understand? Because I don't want there to be no kind of hard feelings. Oh, you left me, this, that, and the fourth. No, I'm letting you know now. If you are slow, and if you are not where you're supposed to be at the time that you're supposed to be there, we're leaving you. And that's just all there is to it. So the plan gets off. They take off in the house. So first off, Audrey and Lee get cornered by, I think they find the tapes. Oh, no. Audrey finds the fake Lee. And then she picks up a gun on the way there. And they get cornered by one of the Polks or whatever. And they said, oh, you killed my mama. She was the forefront of the family. I'm gonna murder you real slow. Audrey was like, think again, pow pow. Okay, so he's down. Meanwhile, Leaf goes up and finds the hidden camera that she was, you know, confessing all her sins on. And oh shit, you know what? I don't remember what happened to her after that. I know she was out running, but I can't remember why. I don't know. That's going to be a gap in my memory. But she found the tape. But then while Gideon was outside, you know, hot wiring the whatchamacallit, he gets axed in the back of the head. Well, the back of the head, the shoulder. I don't know what it is about the shoulder. This seems like they've been aiming for this part a lot. I wouldn't imagine that they would be going for the skull, but they've been going for this. Is this easier to cut? Nursing majors, biology majors, is this an easier tissue probably to get a cleaver through, because it's like the Agnes, when she cut the real Shelby, she cut her in the shoulder. Later on, somebody gets cut in the shoulder. I'm like, what is... that's a very odd place to do that. But, you know, sidetrack, tangents. So we see him, he gets the car started, and almost immediately after he gets the car started, we see blood splatter on his hand. I'm like, oh Lord, here we go, child. So now one of them done got to Gideon and killed him and did all sorts of god-awful things to him, child. So, as, wait, you know what? I think Lee ran out. Okay, now I'm remembering what happened. They heard the truck, and the fake Lee and Audrey, Monet, I think that was her name. Yeah, I told you it was going to come to me. Audrey and Monet are running outside, and that's when they see that Gideon has been killed. And Lee meets them outside, and then the Polk notices that the butcher and her army of ghouls and goblins coming with their torches. And so I think they freak out, and this is where Lee and Aubrey and them get separated. I'm not sure why, though. But I think she drops the tape, because Aubrey and Monet have the tape now. And so they make it to the house. And when they make it to the house, you know, the fake Lee, or Monet, I'm going to call her by her name. Monet is like, you know, we have to go back out there. We have to get Lee, this, that, and the fourth. And Audrey's like, Lee is dead. I'm sure something horrifically happened to her. And, you know, she's trying to tell him to get a grip. But then they decide, and then, you know, Audrey says, I know that something had to have happened to her, because there's no way she would leave these tapes behind. Because the whole reason why she even wanted to go over there was for these tapes. And so they just decide to, you know, watch the tapes to see what it is that she wanted to get. And they figure out that they see her confessional, and they see how she killed her husband and all this and all this stuff. And they're just like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. I'm so over it. And, you know, they're just distraught and pissed, basically. So, as they're watching the confessional, we see Lee out in the woods, okay, struggling to survive, limping and whatnot. And then we see her, like, there's like a pig, and then the pig gets swooped up by something, and I'm just like, oh Lord, what's going on? And we see her crawling, and next thing you know, we see the priestess, not the one, no, that's the farthest thing from the priestess, whatever the Gaga was playing. I'm not sure what she is. The witch, the temptress, she is that. So whatever she is, she handed her, I guess, the same thing that she handed the butcher in the 600-700 odd years ago, a beating heart or something. And she ate it, so I'm like, okay, is she gonna be a minion now? Let's wait and see. Let's keep watching. So we see her, and we're like, oh, okay, this is interesting. So after, remember when the kids were supposed to be banished from going to this site? Now, you know kids are hard-headed, so they decided to come back. Not only after the police told them that they would get arrested, but they decided to come back on the last day of the blood moon at night. I don't know what more. You might as well just have a flashing neon light to the butcher that just says, kill me and skewer me for my innards. You know, like... And they're just like, they got so excited because I guess they publicized the video of them and the girl in the car, and they said, oh, we just got like 20,000 new followers on Instagram and we're trending on Twitter. I'm like, so is your life, your whole state of being, you being skewered like a shish kebab, is that, you know, worth 20,000 followers and trending on Twitter? What good is trending on Twitter if you're not going to be alive to witness it and enjoy it? Why? Is this really worth Twitter? Twitter! Going viral for however many, do you know how many people that go viral who are, I mean, hot for like maybe 6 to 8 months and then that's it? You're gonna risk your lives for viral internet, temporary viral internet fame? Are you stupid? Are you kidding me? I was so upset. I was just like, y'all need to, because this makes the millennial generation just look so ignorant. I guess that was probably the point. That was probably the point. But still, you know, Twitter? God. So here these dumb people are out here at night at the at the last day of the blood moon. They find Lee, or Lee as Lee Harrison. She's and they get all excited because, you know, she's a member of this show that they're such a big fan of, and she's just kind of standing there, and I'm like, something ain't right with this, especially after she was seen with the Gaga or whatever that is. They see her and they're like, oh, you know, I'm such a big fan. Lee just turns over and just slices old dude's throat. I was just like, okay. We've gotten our question answered. This lady is a minion. So they running. They take off running. They're still in shock. They don't know what to do. They just running. They, I guess they make it to what used to be Sydney's trailer. They see the dead bodies there on the ground. Them dead bodies been there a long time because Audrey and them they came and they found it a long time ago. I feel like this has been some days, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just in, you know, real time and not showtime. But then, like, as they're there, I guess they run into Gideon, who I guess wasn't dead. And I don't know if he was trying to ask for help but couldn't say it through his mouth. So they just kind of thought he was a zombie or something. And and they pushed him aside and they ran into the trailer. And bless her heart, homegirl said that they see that the real Lee is going towards the house and they feel like we can stop her and we can take her down. I'm like, she literally just killed your friend with one swipe of the wrist. Why would you... First of all, you're in a place of zombies and spirits and other types of supernatural activity. You think it's just going to be so simple just to take her down? Why would you even bother at this point? Why wouldn't you go to seek help from, I mean, why are you there in the first place is my first question. But your whole plan, I mean, it's heroic and all and, you know, very admirable, but no. No, ma'am. So, let's see. Where are we, Chad? I want to make sure that I get everything in. Okay, so now the real Lee comes to the house. You know, they're worried about, you know, well, I don't know if they're necessarily worried after they found out that she, you know, committed this crime. But they were worried about Lee coming back, and all of a sudden she's just standing outside the staircase, and they're like, you know, oh my God, what happened? Where'd you go? This, that, and the fourth. Lee turns around talking in that same talk like, you don't belong here, your vile presence, something about this land. We're like, what the hell are you talking about? And then Monet just goes off of her. She's like, I don't know who you think you are, but... I'm not scared of you, this, that, and the fourth. You crazy. We know what you did. You a drunk. You a murderer. This, that. She was just going off on her. And next thing you know, the real Lee looked her and just pushed her off the staircase down onto a spike of wood. And so she just has a hole in her. Like, being skewered is apparently a running theme in this show. So she's just laying there in the middle of the staircase, just suffering and dying. So it's just like, oh my God. And so Audrey takes off running. She runs way out into, she tries to go down to the cellar or whatnot. And I guess Lee followed her the whole way. We didn't see her follow, so I'm kind of questioning how she got there so fast. But that's neither here nor there. So... she's trying to get down to the cellar, I guess, to hide, and the possessed Lee is over her, and she kind of just like, you know, please don't kill me. I guess it's a last-ditch effort, and she gets her right here in the shoulder again, and so she falls down into the thing and is just knocked out. So I'm just like, well, there goes that. And then we go back to these ignorant children, the poor babies. The kids see the real butcher getting Gideon and cutting him open, pulling his innards out, and they're just scared. They're not knowing what to do. And, excuse me. Sorry about that. But they're watching this happen, and they're just trying to wonder, how am I going to get away? I'm thinking, like, I hope they're going to be smart enough to just lay low. But unfortunately, it didn't matter because Lee was waiting in the trenches for that ass and grabbed him up. And so now they're being pulled to the center of the, the place where all the other slaves, or whatever they'd be called, minions, and there's kicking, screaming, saying, we don't deserve to die. I think Sophie said, I was trying to be a doctor. And I think his name is Milo. Like, Milo's a good person too, and we don't deserve to die. I didn't really think that's gonna work. If y'all are fans of the show, do y'all really think that saying that you want to be a doctor is gonna save your life? Oh, you want to be a doctor and save lives? Well, go ahead, baby. You're free to go. That's not gonna work, baby. Now, they warned us. They warned us about this particular part, how it was gonna be semi-graphic, and oof, my lord. I think it was because they were kids, is why it was a little bit harder to watch. Like, they separated them. They took giant wooden pikes or whatever. Now, it's hard to determine how they did this, because it's almost like they stuck it up their asses. Like, no lie, like they were laying face down, and they came up from behind them and went like this, okay? And then these things went like up their back. Now, I mean, they could have stuck it through like their spine area and, shot it through the backside like that, but it just was very suggestive. So they're both hung there. They're both in absurd amounts of pain, I'm sure. And they're just looking at each other, dying, slowly dying, and then they just decide to light them on fire. And they're just burning. Burn, baby, burn. I'm just like, oh, Lord. Well, honestly, y'all ain't had no business there in the first place. Y'all got a mulligan by seeing that dead girl and then being able to leave the property to tell the tale about it. The fact that you came back sealed your doom. And I can't feel bad for you because you're stupid. Stupid. Shouldn't have been there in the first place. Talk for Twitter and Instagram followers. Are you kidding me? No amount. Every person, every Twitter account could follow me right now. And they said, if you want all these followers, you have to go to this place at this time where all these people were killed and all this other supernatural stuff is going on. I would say, you can keep it. You can keep it. My life is worth more than social media fame. I'm telling you. But, so after they burned alive, now the cops want to come. Now the cops come, they see Gideon with his guts out. They see these two burned dead bodies. And then one other thing was, like, when they were like reporting it on the little speaker or whatever, they said suspects don't appear to be breathing. No shit. They're hanging from these sticks, burnt to a crisp and shish kebab, and this man out here, his guts are leaking out his body. Of course they're not breathing. I just thought that was silly, that there was like, suspects don't appear to be breathing. Duh! Anyway, so they find Lee, and she's waking up looking distraught and scared, like she don't know what the heck going on. Now, this leads me to believe, like, did she get, like, hypnotized? Did that whole spell, was it temporary? Did they just have, did the Gaga just have Lee do her bidding for her? Or what that was? We're going to need to explain. We're going to need to explain that. So, she's distraught. She doesn't know what's going on. And they picking her up. And then it turns out that Shelby, or the what's her name? Audrey, was still alive, apparently, calling out the cellar. And she's like, oh my God, help me. Like, oh my God. She's like, she even looked at them. She's like, are you real? Because she just don't know up from down at this point. So she's getting up to help. The police officer is looking at her. And then Lee comes over and was like, oh my God, Audrey, I'm so glad to see you. Because she doesn't know, apparently doesn't know what's going on. Audrey looks at her like, you motherfucker. She tries to pull out her gun and shoot her, and I guess before she could get the shots off, the cops noticed that she was trying to shoot, and they shot her instead. Because she was trying to, I mean, in her mind, she's the one that killed Monet and randomly all of a sudden, and then axed her in the shoulder. So and then she realized that she killed Mason, so it's like, it's like I have a vendetta against you right now. So, but apparently Lee has no idea what's going on. And that was pretty much the episode, y'all. Next week apparently is an interview with is she a psychic or whoever Sarah Paulson played in the very first season, like as that therapist / psychic, whatnot. And then she came back and played the same thing in Hotel, if y'all remember from last season. She's going to be interviewing, that character's going to be interviewing Lee, I guess, in the future now. And Lee got a new weave and everything, honey. So, that's going to be how this is going to end. I'm interested to see how they're going to do this. But let me know what y'all think about this. I am kind of sad that the show has to end, but this was definitely a very enjoyable season. I'm loving it so far, and it's always sad to see it go. But let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Washington.